to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm going to do a kitting up today. So we're going to kit up a mini one. So this is a 15 by 15 and this is a wolf that I got from Homfun. So it's not got too many colours. I'm just going to grab my trimmer. So I use a Fiskars trimmer for any paper cutting that I need to do. It works for me. I have big ones, I have smaller ones, but this is my go-to. This is like a personal trimmer. And first things first, I need to label up my containers. So the two main symbols that I want is the image symbol, that, you know, with the letter or the number as per on the canvas, and then I want the DMC number, which is what is on the bags. So do a bit of both, and I'm going to cut that section out. Let's get that out of the way, because then I can force it through this Xyron trimmer. So this is a Xyron mini trimmer. I do use, well, this has currently got the permanent adhesive on. A subscriber very kindly sent me this and sent me a refill to go with it. But what it does is, on all of this back white sheet is lots of mini sticky dots. They're like sticky dots. So by rubbing over this top sheet and then peeling that back, if I can get hold of it. So when you peel off this top sheet now, all the sticky that's around the edge of your piece of paper is on there, but in the middle where your paper was, it's not on this sheet, it's actually on your piece of paper. So that means I can then use these to label up my tubs. Now with this picture, because these are all very small ones, they only have I think, apart from one packet, they have a maximum of 2, apart from one colour, which actually has 10 packets. So I'm going to kit this one up slightly different to what I normally would. But first things first, I need to cut through all these strips so that I can peel them off for my containers. And these little containers, so this box that I'm going to use, it's one of my favourites actually. I know some people don't get on with them, but I really like them, and I think they work great for smaller paintings. You can even make them work with bigger paintings. It was the only storage I used for a long while, just because it fits on my table so nicely. I found it was the best to use. But on these, you can normally fit up to about 4 packets in these, I'd say, is quite safe. So I'm going to peel off, and hopefully these should be not too long. Okay, so it curls round a little bit. And normally these printouts that companies do are pretty much the right sort of length, as long as you try and cut them as close together as you can. Hi, sorry about that, my daughter just came in for a chat. So yeah, I do tend to find most of these inventory sheets work out pretty much the same size for most of the containers. So let's label up this one. Actually, we're not working with that many colours, are we? So maybe we just do, let's do a bit of both. Let's do a bit of labelling and a bit of tipping in the diamonds. So quite often I also find with the likes of Homfun, if you're going to get more than one, they tend to be attached. You know, it's like they pull them all out on a piece of string type, you know, a big long line of them like this, big long line, and then they tear off or cut off the ones that they want. But it should be quite a quick one, this one, because to say we are only talking a few colours. How many colours did we have? 15? 15 colours. A lot of them are only one packet, so there's not a lot of messing about to get it kitted up. But then I'm also going to get the canvas ready. So that's, and I'll show you what I'm going to do different with these. But it's, the only reason I'm going to do something a little bit different with them is because the painting is so small and it is so few colours. So this container will hold up to 28 colours. If I had a painting that was up to 28 colours, I would put any spares into one of these baggies that I use, and I would just keep them with the painting, and when this pot became empty, I would empty a load more in. That's normally the way I work. But because this painting is so small, I think I'm just going to open all the packets. And I'll show you my plan for that when I get to that number. Ooh. Trying to keep all my rubbish to one side doesn't always work too well. So 823. So this painting has a lot of blues. A lot of blues. And then we've got 930. Okay, so that's 2 done. 2 rows. And then, okay. So I was just checking that the number for the packets that I've got loads of 10 isn't coming up yet. It's actually the second to last number. And yet you can label these up in a way that suits you. So you may actually decide, I mean, I've just automatically gone to label them up in number order. But you may find that you actually want to label them up according to the symbol. And I might actually do that on the next one that I need to box up. Is I might actually put my stickers on according to the symbol, not according to the number. Because while I use the number when I am kitting up, and sorry, to put the diamonds in, so kitting it up, and when I use the number for de-kitting to put it in my spare storage, I don't use the number when I am working on the painting. I use the symbol. So, of course, length of time wise, I am using the symbol more than I'm using the number. So I think I might, oh, there's another one. So I think I might kit my next one up differently, ever so slightly. Okay, so this number is 3839, which is Z. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in a different order. So as I say, once it comes to working on the painting, I'm not going to notice. So because this is only one colour, I'm going to pop it on the end. Normally I would keep it in the middle anyway, if I was doing this, and put the extras into pots, you know, straight after it, and then I'd put my next sticker on and I'd work that way. For this, because there is only one number that I have more of, and it is so close to the end of the list anyway, I'm just going to put it right at the end. So let's get 3866 in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this pot up, and then I'm going to fill the next one up, and then I'm going to fill the next one up. And I think I will potentially need 3. I'm not going to label up the other pots because I kit up when I tend to then go to work on a painting. So I'm going to know that it's all the same colour. I can get them to get out. Okay, so I've got 3 diamonds stuck in one bag. That's my cutting skills. And then I've got 1 diamond in there. Okay, let's try try and do this a little bit better. So I'm just going to squash the diamonds down so that I can try and cut more off the top and not make as much of a mess. Oh, I think there's a little bit of static with these as well, actually. That is potentially why they're causing the problem. But it'll be right. I could put them in a tray before tipping them into this, but I find when you're dealing with static, the more plastic to plastic to plastic you have, the worse it gets. So that's fit 4 in. So we'll put 4 in the next one and fill that one up. Are we going in? Okay. I think I'll do these next 2 singly while we're messing with a little bit of static. Not a huge amount, but just enough for it to be a little bit more awkward to cut 2 bags at once. They do jump about a little bit. Come on. I tend to find that small amount of static will not be a problem when I'm working on the painting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in this last one as well, the rest. Now when I'm working on the painting, I will know that this symbol has more than one pot, and I will probably use up this pot first and then work my way down. So if you've not got too many colours that do this, or you're working on a small painting or any type of painting with a low amount of colours that may not go over too much, it can sometimes be handy to do that for the sake of all the diamonds are in one place and ready to go. But do what works for you. I'm also going to prep the canvas. Now, I have recently found the likes of these stick-on sheets. So they come in bigger sheets. They come like this, which is roughly 6x4. But I've actually found, since using some, by cutting them in half, I find that a perfect section for me to work on. It's just my kind of size. Now, I know it doesn't always work for every painting, of course, because they are all different sizes. And for this one, it's only a smidgen off. So what I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to tuck this one up to the top corner. I'm actually going to leave that little gap because I am going to be working on it straight away. But what I do want to do is get rid of this sticky line here. Now, I tend to use the back of my ruler for this and not that ruler, this one. So I will stick the back of my ruler right up to the edge of the painting, and then I will get myself a craft knife, and not doing this too hard, because if you do it too hard you will cut through the canvas as well. I will then score through the glue. I think I've scored through the glue, and then I will peel the glue up. Now you can do this, or you can put washi tape on it, whichever suits you, but I find this just sort of neatens the painting up a bit, or at least it does if I've cut through it right. Try that again. Does normally come up in one lot. Maybe it's because I'm on camera, maybe it's because I didn't score it enough. See if I can get hold of another piece. Okay, that bit's coming off a bit better now. There we go. So that just takes off the double-sided tape. Now this only works with those that come with this opaque cover. doesn't work with any others. And then quite often, if I am just using this cover, I will just score this in multiple places. But I am liking these covers. Now I'm a bit half and half because that gap is so close. I don't know whether to just use this and score it. So, first things first, let me get rid of the excess glue on this side. Okay, take that off. So, as long as I line the ruler up properly, the glue will keep hold of the ruler for me. And then I can score the glue, if need be, a couple of times. And then I just need to get hold of the end with my nail if you've got one. Potentially a craft knife if you've not. And then peel it up, preferably, of course, not peeling up any of the glue on the symbols that you want to keep. And I'm doing so poorly, so poorly with this glue, it's unreal. Okay, that came off a bit better. All over my fingers. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to stick with the same piece of paper because it's easier. And then I'm going to find roughly halfway. I'll probably be a little bit off, and I'm just going to use the knife to score the paper so that I can pull it in half. So I've now got that split into two. That's still roughly the size that I like to work on, but because this is a small painting, I will probably just fold that halfway, work on that section, peel it off, work on the other side. So that is my canvas prepped, badly, but prepped. And that is that painting kitted up and ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.